We can do one in a half an
those
hour.
old-fashioned episodes, guys. When Cage and I first
Hey.
started this show, we're like, the hobby is lacking a daily show, 15, 20 minutes tops, where we come on, we give our plays, talk about one topic. 570 episodes since then, we have not done a show less than 20 minutes. I don't even think it's possible.
In the beginning, we had a couple there. We were like, oh, let's try this. Keep it short and sweet.
We were feeling each other out.
Remember, people would send us pictures of like, this is a perfect podcast while I'm doing this. And it would be like, their feet in a bathroom. Somebody took a picture. This was the perfect length. I can take a dump and listen to your stuff. This is what I'm doing. It's like, thank you for that one. We love it. we love that we are your dump podcast.
Now people do a whole variety of things. People run. They listen to us at work. They listen to us on their way to work. So we'll try to keep it short, sweet. I love my play. I think my play is for collectors and for investors together. And I think that's when you buy what you love and it has the opportunity to appreciate. I think this is a card that, I literally can't think of it going any lower when you see this card I bring you. I think it has all the upside in the world, and it's a guy that is freaking awesome. So I also have a few topics, Cage. So pick one of these and we'll have some fun. So the new name of the Washington football team, the Commandos. Okay, that's one. You could pick that one. NFL is a joke. It's rigged, literally, with the Brian Flores situation, the Hugh coach from the Cleveland Browns, all that stuff. Or my best buddy and I, we watched this CNBC special of a $500 million house, Cage being auctioned off in Beverly Hills. The developer's going bankrupt. So they're starting the auction February 7th, $295 million. It's called The One. Insane house.
Are you going to buy it?
We'll see. I mean, my NFTs are going really well. Fingers crossed.
Why don't you start a DAO?
Why don't we start a DAO?
House DAO.
We live in such a weird time where anytime there's like a big purchase that may or may not be a good investment, the narrative is,
excuse me,
why don't you start a DAO? Hey, you want to buy the Constitution? Let's start a DAO.
That's it. Just start a DAO.
You want to buy this $500 million house where the guy just went bankrupt? Start a DAO. Take money from everyone in the world and lose it.
No, I mean, I think it's a great idea.
There's so much money in the system, people don't know what to do with it. That's literally what we're saying.
I mean, yeah. If you had $275 million, you could buy that house. That'd be pretty nice. You'd know what to do with it.
Dude, when you guys see the special, the house is extravagant, but the maintenance on the house is insane. The house is like 3 miles long.
So maintenance DAO.
It's like a
you
hotel.
just start another DAO to take care of the maintenance.
Bro, what happened to you at work today? You're supposed to be working on legal stuff, not NFT stuff.
I was working, but now I get to spend 15, 20 minutes with you. I'm waiting for these topics. This play, sometimes I'm excited for your play. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, he's just going to half-ass it. When you start off with saying you buy what you love and it's also never going to be cheaper than that, like, I got to tell you, I'm excited for your play. But, so what do you want to talk about? What are some of your topics?
I love these episodes when Cage is in the office. He's kind of like he's listening to me, but he doesn't really give a fuck what I say.
I mean, you said you had a couple topics. Was one of them a house? I said buy it. It's a DAO. $275 million. Go for it. What was the other topic?
Do you have any?
So your Commanders.
Miami Dolphins.
You know what's funny is if you guys take a look at the Commanders, Washington new team. They announced today that the Commanders is the new team name, the Washington football team. The only good thing about this is that I don't have to say Washington football team anymore, right? At least it's a name and it's not the team that used to be named the Redskins, right? Take a look. A really good post was Kevin Nagande posted on Instagram today, and his pictures of the uniforms and, the team name, the color. And he was like, it's amazing when they spend this much time to come up with this. It was definitely not a favorable reaction from Kevin. It was like, I don't like the font. I don't like the skinny numbers. He's like, and I'm sure somebody was paid a little bit of money to come up with this. It's still the same colors. They have like a black jersey also, like black on black, black pants, black jersey. A lot of teams started doing that also. But it's still the same maroon. The black one was decent because it has like kind of like those like, construction style painted with like the lines in it. You'll see maybe the Nagande post. Yeah, that's it right there. I mean, The Washington Commanders? What do you think?
I don't understand. I still don't know why they changed the name from the Redskins. I don't like Commanders because I don't know how you can't chant to that. It has no ring to it, Cage. It's too many syllables. Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Easy. It rolls off the tongue.
Maybe they'll shorten it. Maybe they'll be the commies, the Washington Commies. No,
that's not going to win. Well, hey, whoa!
Say what you will.
I just got conspiracy theory vibes. Whoa, wow.
You got it. The Washington Commies. You never know. Maybe they.
I hate communism. Just so you know, they brought me over from there. I could have been raised in that.
I mean, next year
you've embraced the darkness.
Yeah,
I was raised in it.
Here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that
is that the Bane line?
Mahomes. Right? Yes, that you nailed it, man. I was born in it. So I'm hoping that Mahomes has one more year before the salary cap craziness comes and kicks in and destroys the Chiefs. And next year's Super Bowl is the Commanders and Chiefs.
Over.
What do you call the president? The president's called the Commander in Chief. Commanders and Chiefs. No good. All right. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm doing my best here. This is not my grade A material. They can't all be winners. But what do you do with the Commanders? What do you do with the Commanders? If you're a Washington fan, you gotta let us know. Are you going to go to the game and say, let's go Commanders? I mean, like, really? All right. What do you got next?
No, nothing, man. It's a boring time in sports, right? Like,
I mean,
that's where I'm at. What's going on? What's going on that's exciting?
I have a question for you. Now that it's been settled, we've had kind of like a couple days here where is he, isn't he, is he, isn't he, is he, isn't he? He now confirmed he is. Tom Brady is retiring, right? It was announced, then it wasn't announced. People wanted to be first. Then it was, okay, maybe he's not. Keep in mind, you can retire and still come back. Roger Clemens did it every season. He just didn't feel like going to camp, and he basically came back to the Yankees and just played the playoffs, second half of the season, got in shape, and then just George Steinbrenner's box. Yeah, Roger Clemens is in George Steinbrenner's box. A little Susan Waldman there for you Yankee fans. And he can always come back. You could retire and come back from retirement. What do you think? Is going to happen to his cards now? You think his legacy is set, or do you think there might be a little bit of a drop? What are your thoughts on Brady?
Well, I hope. Do you have that little diary where you write down everything I say in it?
I do. No, actually, I can't do it during episodes because I do it on the notes on the phone. Gotcha. But it's already recorded for posterity.
Well, this
whatever you say, we can look this up. Okay.
Well, this should be consistent. There's no flip-flopping as alleged by you in your little diary. I think Tom Brady cards are run up too much.
All right.
I think there's a lot of people in profit. My buddy here, we've been trading NFTs, and one data point that he looked at is he said in these space pods, the Nike space pods, 90% of people are in profit on them, right? I think if you think about it, anybody that's bought Brady cards in the last year or 2 years, most of the people are in profit. Mm-hmm. So it's not that his legacy isn't set or any of that. It's that there's going to be a bit of a supply run. There's going to be people who want to take profits. And anytime that happens, it's just basic economics. And I actually think, and I said this before, I think it's a little bit of an opportunity to pick and dip by the cards that you might have wanted to have if you want to especially hold them for the long term.
Okay.
That's where I think is going to happen on Brady cards. But his legacy set. He's the Michael Jordan of our generation, Cage, because it's interesting. Like, you and I love Jordan, but believe it or not, like, I think most of the people my age, maybe 4 or 5 years younger than me, I don't think they even got a chance to see Jordan. I don't think they know of anything about Jordan other than secondary sources of what people tell them. And that wears off. It's that Kareem effect, right? Yep. When everyone got to see Kareem, they're like, this guy's incredible. When everyone got to see Wilt, incredible. But when it becomes kind of passed down in lineage, it's not the same. And I think Brady, people got to see him. People got to see him leave the evil villain of Bill Belichick, who can't even figure out how to text people right and have common courtesy. He actually sucks as a human, doesn't he? Leave that evil villain and then go play for the other evil villain, Bruce Arians, who can't even hold it down with his team and smacks people in the head and win a championship. And you know what's even better? He brought his darling with him, Gronk.
Yep.
Are they not the cutest? Like, dude, did you see Gronk's video today? And the song
and his post, his little Tommy boy.
Gronk is a legend. I gotta be honest with you, man. I think that story has there's something to that. I think Brady is our generation's, the kids growing up. He's their Jordan.
All right. I mean, listen, I think he is a Jordan. You could even go as far as to say, I believe he's a step beyond Jordan, because you can make an argument, and normally it's recency bias. Like, I'm a Montana guy, right? Like, I was a Jordan guy, same kind of generation, and Montana was the GOAT for me, right? Montana has been passed by Brady, right? And it's almost to a point where you can't even make a real legitimate argument for Montana over Brady. Brady's the GOAT. He did things no one else did. He did it for longer than everybody did. Just to put it in perspective, I am 45 years old, guys. 45. All right? Throw that right out there for you guys. Makes me pretty old. Right? He just retired. I'm 45 years old. Tom Brady threw his first touchdown pass, his first NFL touchdown pass, on my 25th birthday. And I'm 45. So the man has been doing it at a high level for literally decades. And the difference between him and Jordan is you could make an argument that Wilt was better. You could make an argument, and people do, that LeBron is better.
October 14th, for those people wondering. It's a long way away.
Yeah, he did October 14th of 2001 was his first touchdown pass, my 25th birthday. And I knew this because I was a huge Drew Bledsoe fan, and I was mad that this guy was even getting in there and playing, which, whatever, it is what it is. It's my life.
Cage would come home from the law office, just go into his basement and play with his Drew Bledsoe cards.
Actually,
yes.
That was about a month after 9/11. And I was back in the office. Cards. Yeah. So, but anyway, so here's the fun, right? So he is. There are very few people like Brady in the clear-cut GOAT. You talk about Rafa as being a tennis GOAT, but people will say maybe it's Sampras. People will say maybe it's what's his name now?
Djokovic, Fed, Nadal.
Federer. That's the three who are there now. But people would have said, maybe it's Agassi, maybe it's Sampras, maybe it's Jimmy Connors. People will say other folks.
Those three would get smoked. Literally get smoked.
But still, dude, argue for the sake of arguing. There's still three.
I think they
guys
played with wooden rackets at that time.
Baseball. Some people say Babe Ruth. Some people say Mickey Mantle. Some people say Joe DiMaggio. Notice they're all Yankees. Some people say Ted Williams. We never won anything. But there's always an argument there.
Don't be like that Bruce Springsteen glory days. You guys haven't won
glory days. We haven't not in forever. 09 was not really half a century. It was only 13.
Do you think Philly's a shit city?
No. Yeah, who would ever say Philly's a shit city?
Why would ever get their feelings hurt because of that?
I mean, I went there as a kid on a school trip, and it was the first time I saw a massive amount of homeless people. I was walking around, we saw the Liberty Bell, and that kind of stuff. There's homeless people everywhere. It's the first time, I live in New York, and, Philly struck out. I was actually handing out, I had, for the bus, I had like a 10-pack of the Wrigley's double mint gum, the green one, when you buy like a hanger pack. It was, a pack of 10 of them was like $1. I was actually handing out sticks of gum to homeless people. Great school trip I was on. They let me go up to a homeless person, and instead of giving them money, I'm giving them gum. What do they need my double mint for? But I was a child. What the hell did I know? So anyway, here's the fun. Brady is one of the few, if maybe the only one, who is literally the GOAT. No argument can be made right now. Now, someone might pass him, but that to me solidifies his cards, solidifies his value, solidifies his legacy. And while I could see potentially some people taking profit and selling now because, maybe there were people who thought he could win this year. He could win an MVP this year, which he's probably not going to. He could win. Maybe they'll give it to him now, because it's like a career achievement award. They thought maybe he win a Super Bowl, and then maybe he'll be back next year. Why would he retire? So people thought there might have been still some small upside. So I could see some people kind of taking a little bit. And we've seen that on some of his cards already. But yeah, to me, he's about as safe as it gets. If there's any kind of pullback, go for it. I'm with you. What else you got?
I love how every once in a while you randomly type to someone. We know there's nobody on the other end of that message. That's just a notepad. You're just keeping track of what Andrew says. Oh man, there's never. All right, I'll get into my play, ladies and gentlemen.
Get into my play, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, it feels good
Members
to
of
make
the
money for
jury.
people. I got to be honest. I love hopping on here. This last week, I've been very cerebral. I wish I had more knowledge and experience to know what's going to happen economically, right? Because here I am, and it's so easy to get caught up in mania, right? In your little bubble of where you live and what you do and what you're kind of playing around with as what we do. But then there's the whole economic sphere. And I'm trying to balance and trying to, think about how do I manage my money? What am I even making money for and all that stuff. And Dennis Patrick Zender had a really, really cool DM to me today, how a few years ago, he repositioned all his money into kind of building a Kobe mutual fund.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned it into, 80,000 to I think 130,000, right? And a lot of people be out there thinking, that's not a great return. And it probably isn't in these kind of economic climates, right? Where people are making 100,000 in a month, which is crazy, right? Literally insane to think about that money. This card is a card that I think is in that same sphere that won't make you a millionaire overnight, but I think it's an incredible, incredible card. So if you have any thoughts on the economy and any of that stuff before you get into your play, feel free to share. But my play is a Peyton Manning card, okay?
Sweet.
So this one is a 1-of-1. I love how they put 1-of-1 masterpiece, okay?
Okay.
And this is the Flair. I love the Flair Showcase 1998 Peyton Manning. Beautiful card. Ended for $26,700.
I just want to clarify. You are doing a show where 2,000, 2,500, maybe 3,000 if it's a good show, people are going to listen to this hanging on your every word, waiting for your play. That is a buy what you love and a money-making play for our audience, so you can provide value for them. And those 2,500 people, your play for them is a 1-of-1.
Yes. So I'm doing this for my sheer entertainment because I want you guys to record it. And it's like throwing scraps to pigeons. No. I'm showing you this guy's card because it's a beautiful card.
Yes.
Now, there's the non-1-of-1 version.
Yes.
Right,
all right. There we go. He's got some crumbs
10.
for you guys.
PSA 10. Beautiful card. 1998 Flair Showcase Road 3. How much would you estimate if there's only 100 of these PSA 10s out there?
Wow. That's not that many.
That's not that many. The Flair 1-of-1 was 27,000. What do you think this card should be worth?
So 1-of-1 is 27,000.
Yeah.
Right. So 1-of-10 could be 2,700, and 1-of-100 could be, $270.
$270. So you're getting it right now for $200.
All right. Cheap.
So
and by the way, that math was ridiculous. Obviously, what I just said, I really expected it to be a lot more than that. I just divided it by 10 twice.
And you're good at that, and you displayed sound arithmetic skills, and our audience is proud of you. Yay! So even with Cage's math, and let's give him a round of applause.
Hooray!
Go ahead, put that in your notes.
Andrew gave me a round of applause. 2-2.
You still have 30% upside. And here's the other thing: the whole buy what you love. I think it's a gorgeous card. I think Manning is hilarious. I think the show that him and Eli do is awesome. I think he's one of the greatest. I think his cards are going to appreciate over time. It's that same Kobe mutual fund that Dennis Patrick Zender said. It doesn't necessarily just have to be Brady. It could be great quarterbacks, and you could throw this in there. This is $200 for a pop 100 Peyton Manning, gorgeous card, $200. That's my play.
I like it. I really do like it. Okay, so
sick card.
And I love Manning, and I think the Manning stuff we'll start to appreciate now that Brady's done. People will see the Manning-Brady rivalry. People see Manning's numbers stack up against him, and
how cool would that documentary be, right? Like kind of a Last Dance, Manning, Brady.
The two of them, right?
They're buddies, I believe.
You know what I would love to see? I'd love to see Marvel do, the Marvel what if, what if this happened? I'd love to see somebody take a shot at that, like a what if kind of show where the GOATs of a generation, what if they didn't play? Like a Manning story if there was no Brady. How many Super Bowls does Manning win? How many MVPs does Manning win? What happens to
not many. He throws the ball to Ty Law all the time.
Oh,
God. Just kidding, Drake. I hope you don't cancel my show.
It's an interesting thing. It is what it is. So here, I have a question for you. It is the other end of the spectrum, right? Brady's legacy is set, right? He had hype. He met the hype. He exceeded the hype. You name it. I'm going to give you the complete under in the spectrum. Different sport. Somebody who came in with all the hype, because Brady didn't, right? Brady was an unsung nobody, and he obviously just delivered. Somebody who has all the hype, is a darling in the hobby, but hasn't done anything yet. Not individually or from a team perspective. No championships, no real playoff success to speak from, unless you count one buzzer beater. And no individual success, no MVPs, no real top finishes in the MVP. Filling up the stats, sure. Team playing better defense this year, sure. But I'm talking about none other than Mr. Luka, right? Luka Doncic, who has been passed in hobby relevance by John Morant this year. Already be careful with that, right? Because year over year, there's always a hobby darling, and it doesn't seem to last more than 1 year. So, this year's Ja could very well be next year's, I don't know.
So I'm
Anthony
starting to
Edwards.
break different players into categories too, like within a player. Because I don't know if people knew this, but if you go to Card Ladder, I just happened to do this today. I'll show you guys real quick. So we all know, I don't need to pull up the chart, Cage, that his base prism is all-time low, right?
Yes. So I have a play
base
on Luka.
Prism PSA 10. Here, just real quick. I'll pull it up.
Go right ahead.
So anyway, I looked this up today. It's $399 is the base prism. But
cool.
If we go to sales history, which is a cool feature, and we go Luka Prism Gold PSA 10. Gold. One actually just sold today. Swear to God. February 1st. Sold yesterday through Golden. I don't understand how. Anyway, $780,000 for his PSA 10 Gold, Cage. Record. Mm-hmm. Cool. Card Ladder has this as a 1.2 million. Whatever you guys want to say, it doesn't matter. The point is, there's like the base and silver tier where retail investors play, and there's the gold and the national treasures where the elites play. Did I call them elites? The wealthy.
Yes.
The elites.
Can I come up with a different strategy on this maybe for our folks?
Sure, so but the point is, there's Shine is buying those, the logo man, or he sold the logo man. They're safe, really. The retail guys are kind of getting crushed on the base. So that's my thoughts on it.
So, and you're right. And a perfect example of that, in addition to the gold, is that National Treasure 1010 that sold for $700,000 and what was it, PWCC this past month, right?
Yes.
So you're 100% right. The high-end stuff, he's still the hobby darling, right? High-end stuff's going for high-end prices. I believe, and guys, I am not this guy, all right? I'm not this guy. But the math just makes sense, right? You guys know, you pulled up that base PSA 10, right? How many of them are there graded? Not just 10s, graded. Right?
Give me a sec.
And then the PSA Silver Prism. How many graded of it? Now, there are 10s. We talked about 1,000-something 10s. How many total graded of the Luka Prism PSA 10? Let's talk about that card for a second. The Luka Prism PSA 10.
I'm pulling it up, Cage. I'm pulling it up.
You're the best. By the way, folks, that's not my play. So stay tuned. We're using this for comparison because sometimes things get swept up, right? So you got that Luka 280 silver, right?
2,110s. And here, 18,201 10s. I'll go to alt, but go ahead, Cage.
Yeah, so what is it, 2,010s? And the value on it was how much? $3,000 almost? And, that was $2,700. And so I mean, if there's 2,000 and change 10s, there's 4,000 of them graded, 5,000 of them graded. It's not a rare card. And let me just throw this out there, right? I believe that when you see that prism, the base prism, the silver prism, and people saying go low pop, go numbered, right? People automatically jump to the prism parallels, the numbered prism parallels, the rare stuff. I got to tell you, we've often talked about, hey, there's optic. When can optic pass? And then there's select. And okay. I believe that some of the other Luka rookies, and if you have a different guy and you're a Trey guy and you want to do that too, some of the other what would be called base silver unnumbered have been swept up in that crush. Some of them even worse than this silver. That was a 7,000, now it's 3,000. So it's down 60%. Okay.
Can I give you some numbers real quick?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
So 32,000 in PSA graded. 10s,
of the
9s,
base.
8s
What
of the
about the
base.
silver? Yeah.
The silver, we have about 5,000 graded altogether, maybe 6,000 with BGS.
So about let's just use PSA. About 5,000 total graded of the Luka Silver, and its value is $2,700. Okay. Without looking, the Luka concourse level, not the court side, right? The concourse level, card number 25, silver prism. Luka concourse, silver prism. How many
what's funny, Cage?
Go ahead, dude.
I'm not interrupting you. I'm adding context.
No, you're not. You're adding context. No, go ahead, please.
Go ahead. Type. I just bought a Joe Burrow Concourse Select, and they're so cheap. I thought I couldn't believe it.
People are sweeping these cards up into the same category as the Prism Base and the Prism Silver. Now, we just said 5,000 total silvers graded for Luka, value $2,700. How many 10s and how many total graded on this Luka? This is the Concourse level number 25, 2018 Select Silver Prism. How many total graded? Don't look it up. Just guess. I know the answer to this because this is my play.
142.
Well, thanks for blowing it out of the water. That would make it amazing. But there have been 344 total graded 201 10s. So you compare that to the 5,000 of the total amount graded of the silver prism, and what was it, 2,000, 1,800, whatever 10s, right? 201 10s, right? So 1/9, right? And those things are still being graded. Whereas, so what I'm telling you guys is that this card, this Luka Concourse number 25, 2018 silver prism, should not be swept up in that crush of the other cards. Now, before you go through the numbers, here's what I'm going to do. And you have Alt, and I don't know what kind of, what they tell you the value of this is, but it's very easy, guys. I'm going to tell you that I go on PWCC, and I look at the actual sales. You got it on Alt, whatever it is. It's free. It's free everywhere. If you go back to January 20th of last year, right? So 1 year ago, that's as close to 1 year as you can. January 20th of last year, this card sold in PWCC for $4,050. An actual sale of $4,050. In March 22nd, so less than a year ago, we're talking about maybe 10 months ago, $4,345. It has proceeded with that chart, just as you showed, it has proceeded to go down. In April, $3,250. In May, $2,800. In June, $2,425. In July, $2,360. In December, $1,350. And if you check your eBay sales, one sold on January 30th, this past weekend, days ago, it's February 2nd, for $961 on eBay. All right, so here's a card that a year ago was $4,300 and is now $960. It is down 80%. And it is not something that should be considered high pop, base, silver. When you compare the numbers to that Prism Silver, it is a minuscule amount of this. And that PSA 10 Prism Luka, I love the card. It's iconic. It's the one people want. There's almost 2,000 of them in PSA 10, and that's $2,700. This card just sold for a third of that. And there's 10% of this out there. I believe, because of exactly what you just said, there's what people buy here and there's what people buy here. I believe that the next phase of this fun stuff, and guys, you can do this with other cards and other players. Andrew did it with Joe Burrow with the same type of card. I believe that what's going to happen next is that bottom row, right? These guys, the people who used to do the let's find the base and grade, the people who will spend enough time looking at the pops, looking at the stuff, will realize that there are cards that have been beaten up that are low pop, but people just sweep them into that high pop base silver prism stuff. And when you realize that a card like this has a similar pop to some of the numbered prisms, right? This is, not a far cry from, the blue and the red. The red's $299, so it's a little bit more than that. But how much is a Luka red? It's definitely not $900. You know what I mean? So I know it doesn't have the demand, and we talk about supply and demand, but I think that we're now hitting a point on this guy's cards where he's not the darling this year, but he might be next year. He might be 2 years from now. He might be 3 years from now. He's going to play for a long time. He's a great player. And I think you're at a point now where you can potentially start to scoop up some of his rarer stuff that's gotten swept in with the, you're throwing out the baby with the bathwater kind of stuff. What do you think, man?
Bradley Beal to the Mavs would be so awesome, man. By the way,
All
I
right.
think I'm pretty awesome at Instagram comments on posts.
Oh Jesus, what did you do?
Nothing. No, I just said trade deadline. It's time for things to get interesting. Beal to Miami, Lillard to the Lakers, Simmons to Europe. Got a lot of love.
They're just trading him to Europe. The continent is getting Simmons. I love
People
it.
loved it. They're like, he's not good enough for Europe. Let's send him to the Shanghai Sharks. We had some fun. We're just meeting strangers on the internet. No, but dude, Beal to the Mavs. The Mavs are. I don't believe that there. I don't believe that there won't be moves like a double negative that before the trade deadline. I'm excited to see. I think a few people might be on the move.
Okay. All right. I mean, trade deadline. So I have to acknowledge a date today, which is pretty nuts. Today is 2/2/22/22. It is 2 February 2 the day 2022, right? So there's all these damn twos. It's crazy, right? Look at all these twos. It's nuts, right? 2/2/2/22. It's 2/2/22. So I guess it's not as cool like maybe the 22nd. It'll be 2/2/2/22. It'll be even crazier in 20 days. But those are the kind of things that don't happen that often. I don't know if you believe in this stuff, right? The next time that happens is March of 33. March 3rd of 33. 3333.
3,333 in 1,000 years.
It's just nuts. It's crazy stuff. So, enjoy it. If 2 is your lucky number, this is a day to play the lottery, I guess. Let's rock and roll. It is what it is. What else you got, man? Or I love my play. I love your play.
Dude, your play is fantastic. I didn't give you the compliment that play deserved. I apologize.
Well, listen, I like your Peyton Manning 1 of 1. I can't believe the mass hysteria we're going to have when everybody hears this and they're going to all run to spend their $25,000 and be the first one to get it. It is what it is. What else you got?
Dude, I want to let you go. I mean, you're at the office. I think you want to go home.
Appreciate that.
Kids. Did Ian finish his the cathedral?
No, not yet. It's close. It's due the 14th. So he's kind of delayed.
Is he getting frustrated?
He is. He definitely is. It's not the easiest thing in the world to build.
What does he get frustrated with?
It's cardboard. So they fall apart. They don't stay in. It's like it's a little bit more drama. The Lego is easy. You stick it in, it builds, and you follow the instructions. He follows the instructions, and the thing still falls out. So I come over and I kind of like tape it down and stuff. Try to help him out. This way it stays in place. The thing, Lego sets, like if that were a Lego set, it'd be like $300. This cardboard thing that I bought him was like $28. And he's like, "You bought this to torture me." And I'm like, "Yeah, pal, that was my thought. I bought it to torture you. I'm sorry." Yeah.
All right, Luca Nation. We love you. We'll let you go. See you tomorrow, Cage.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.